What if I told you the milk in your fridge right now isn't actually milk? Not in the way your great-grandmother would recognize it anyway. I spent 3 weeks investigating Britain's biggest dairy brands, and what I discovered will change how you look at that innocent white carton forever. Because while we've been trusting household names for decades, something fundamental has shifted in how our milk gets made. Today, I'm exposing the 8 milk brands that represent everything wrong with modern dairy. I'm revealing the 3 that still get it right. But first, let me show you exactly what's been happening behind those familiar labels. 99% of shoppers have no idea what they're actually buying when they grab milk from the supermarket shelf. They see the same white liquid, the same promises about calcium and nutrition, but the reality is far more disturbing. Here's what changed. Somewhere in the last 30 years, milk stopped being a simple farm product and became an industrial commodity. The cows that produce your daily pint are no longer grazing peacefully in green pastures. Instead, they're confined in massive operations where efficiency trumps everything else. But the real shock comes when you discover what these cows are actually eating. While we imagine them munching on fresh grass, the truth is they're being fed a cocktail of processed ingredients that would make your head spin. In 2017, a truck carrying thousands of defective red Skittles spilled across a Wisconsin highway. The shocking revelation: these weren't heading to a waste facility, they were cattle feed. And this isn't some isolated American problem. UK regulations explicitly permit properly processed confectionery waste in animal feed. Think about that for a moment. The milk you're pouring on your child's cereal could be coming from cows that have been eating expired chocolate bars, stale biscuits, and candy rejects. But confectionery waste is just the beginning. Modern cattle feed includes soybean meal treated with hexane, a petroleum-derived solvent. It contains corn syrup solids, urea as a protein substitute, and something called poultry litter, which is exactly what it sounds like. The European Food Safety Authority has approved over 4,000 different additives for animal feed. These include synthetic amino acids, artificial vitamins, and preservatives that would be banned in human food. Yet somehow, we're told the milk from these chemically fed animals is perfectly natural. Even if you could somehow find milk from grass-fed cows, what happens next would shock you even more. The processing methods used by major dairy companies have transformed milk into something barely recognizable. First comes homogenization, a violent process that forces milk through tiny holes at extreme pressure. This breaks down the natural fat globules into microscopic particles that some researchers believe can penetrate the intestinal wall more easily, potentially causing inflammation. Then there's ultra-pasteurisation, where milk is heated to 280 degrees Fahrenheit. This extends shelf life but destroys beneficial enzymes, reduces vitamin content, and alters the protein structure. The milk that emerges is sterile, but it's also nutritionally depleted. But here's where it gets really disturbing. Many brands don't stop there. They add back synthetic vitamins to replace what processing destroyed. They inject stabilizers to prevent separation. Some even add powdered milk solids to increase protein content and improve texture. The result? A product that looks like milk, pours like milk, but has been so heavily processed and chemically altered that calling it natural becomes a cruel joke. Major supermarket brands like Tesco's own label milk, ASDA's Smart Price range, and Morrisons Savers milk all follow this industrial model. They source from massive dairy operations where thousands of cows are fed the cheapest possible feed mix, and their milk is processed to maximize shelf life and profit margins. After weeks of investigation, these are the 8 milk brands that represent everything wrong with the modern dairy industry. 1. Cravendale. Despite marketing itself as filtered for purity, Cravendale uses microfiltration that strips away beneficial bacteria while leaving the milk nutritionally compromised. The cows producing this milk are fed standard industrial feed mixes. 2. Lacto-free. While solving lactose intolerance, this heavily processed milk uses lactase enzymes and additional processing steps that further denature the proteins. The source farms follow intensive farming practices. 3. Tesco Everyday Value. This budget option sources from industrial dairy operations where cost-cutting is paramount. The feed quality is minimal and processing is designed purely for shelf stability. 4. ASDA Smart Price. Similar to Tesco's budget range, this milk comes from high-volume operations where animal welfare and feed quality are secondary concerns. 5. Morrisons Savers. Another budget brand that prioritizes price over quality, sourcing from intensive farming operations with questionable feed practices. 6. Sainsbury's Basics. The cheapest option from Sainsbury's, this milk represents the worst of industrial dairy. Maximum processing, minimum nutrition. 7. Arla Standard. While Arla has some premium ranges, their standard milk follows the industrial model with intensive farming and heavy processing. 8. Müller Standard Range. Known more for yogurts, Müller's standard milk products follow the same cost-cutting approach as other major brands. These brands share common characteristics. They source from intensive farming operations, use heavily processed feed, employ maximum processing techniques, and prioritize shelf life over nutritional value. The health implications of drinking this industrialized milk are becoming increasingly clear, though the dairy industry works hard to suppress this information. Studies have linked homogenized milk to increased rates of heart disease. The theory is that the artificially small fat particles can more easily penetrate artery walls, contributing to atherosclerosis. Countries with higher consumption of homogenized milk show higher rates of cardiovascular disease. Ultra-pasteurisation destroys beneficial enzymes like lactase, which helps digest milk naturally. This is why lactose intolerance has skyrocketed in recent decades. We're not becoming more sensitive to milk, we're drinking a product that's been stripped of its natural digestive aids. The synthetic vitamins added back to processed milk aren't absorbed as effectively as natural vitamins. Vitamin D2, commonly added to milk, is far less effective than the natural vitamin D3 that would be present in milk from pasture-raised cows. Perhaps most concerning are the hormone residues. Cows in industrial operations are often given growth hormones to increase milk production. While regulators claim these are safe, independent studies have found links between hormone residues in milk and early puberty in children. The antibiotic residues are another major concern. Industrial dairy cows are routinely given antibiotics to prevent disease in crowded conditions. These residues contribute to antibiotic resistance and can disrupt the human gut microbiome. Not all hope is lost. After extensive research, I found 3 brands that still produce milk the way it should be made. 1. Organic Valley. This cooperative sources exclusively from organic farms where cows graze on pesticide-free pastures. The milk is minimally processed, retaining beneficial enzymes and natural vitamins. Their farmers follow strict animal welfare standards. 2. Riverford Organic. Known for their vegetable boxes, Riverford's milk comes from their own organic dairy, where cows spend most of their time outdoors eating grass. The milk is pasteurized but not homogenized, preserving the natural fat structure. 3. Daylesford Organic. This premium brand sources from biodynamic farms where cows are treated as part of a holistic farming system. The milk is minimally processed and comes from cows that eat only organic, grass-based diets. These brands cost more, but when you understand what you're actually getting, the price difference makes perfect sense. You're paying for real milk from healthy cows, not an industrial product masquerading as nature. The power to change this system lies in your wallet. Every time you choose real milk over industrial milk, you're voting for a better food system. Look for these key indicators when shopping: organic certification, grass-fed labels, minimal processing claims, and local farm sources. Avoid anything that mentions filtered, ultra-pasteurized, or extended shelf life. Consider finding a local dairy farm that sells directly to consumers. Many offer raw milk, which is the closest you can get to what our ancestors drank. While raw milk requires careful handling, it contains all the beneficial bacteria, enzymes, and vitamins that processing destroys. If raw milk isn't available or doesn't appeal to you, Look for low-temperature, pasteurized, non-homogenized milk from grass-fed cows. This represents the best compromise between safety and nutrition. The milk industry has spent decades convincing us that their industrial product is equivalent to real milk. But now you know the truth. The white liquid in most supermarket fridges bears little resemblance to the milk that built strong bones and healthy bodies for thousands of years. The choice is yours. You can continue buying industrial milk and supporting a system that prioritizes profit over health, or you can seek out the real thing and experience what milk is supposed to taste like. Your body will thank you for making the switch. And who knows, you might just rediscover why our ancestors considered milk one of nature's perfect foods. The dairy industry is counting on your ignorance. Don't let them win. Thank you for watching. This is Noah again. Please share it with the person whose health is important to you. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.